Hey guys, it's Michelle and I'm here for our just totally impromptu Make It Happen Monday live Q&A. So I am here to take your questions if you have them. I've got to be really honest. This week has started out with a bang. Last week ended with a bang. It wasn't a really great week, and this week is starting out with some similar kind of stuff, so it's been interesting to be me, that is absolutely for sure. So anyway, but I'm excited just to kind of tackle your questions and see how we can help each other and mastermind. Obviously, we have tremendous expertise in the group. I'm just kind of shutting down all of my windows over here so I'm not distracted, but we have tremendous expertise within the group. It's how Women Who WOW was designed, obviously. And so I'm excited to see who logs on and also what questions that you have. I know one question we definitely want to tackle is how to get someone from your email list onto your into like a selling kind of funnel. And I'm actually trying to find the actual question, exactly how it was phrased, because I think it was really important. And so if no one is asking questions once everybody logs on, then I will go into tackling that question for sure. And let's see. Okay, yeah, here's the question right here. It says, how do I go about getting clients from my email list? So I know there's probably a lot to do, but where do I start? Can I point you in the right direction? So I just want to answer this question as people log on. And so obviously this is a person who has an email list. It's small. She and I were talking privately a little bit ago. So she's got a small email list. Hey, Janine. I'm really excited to have you here, and we're waiting on people to log in. But if you have a question, I thought you said help. I'm like, wait a minute, we might need to dial 911 for Janine. So yeah, if you have a question, please post it below. I miss you. I miss you so bad. And I know that Holly is going to be in Dubai instead of in Dallas for Women Who WOW, but really would love to see you. And if you can't come to Dallas, we need to figure something else out so we can be together. But definitely post a question below if you can so that we can tackle that. But I want to tackle Gabrielle's question, which is, how do I turn someone who's on my very small email list into a paying client? And the first thing I want to say is I'm really excited that you're asking this now while your list is still small. So many people, they won't say this out loud. Some people will. Most people will not. But they have this feeling, what my granddad would call this knowing. And, their knowing says that sales would just happen, right? It's almost like a totally, false kind of sense of security that when you get your email list to a certain number, then everything will take care of itself and then the sales will start to flow. And so my feeling on that is if you can't make money off of a small list, you can't make money off of a big list either. A small list gives you a competitive advantage. It means that you can show up in meaningful ways to everyone on your list, right? If you've got a list of less than 100 people, what's beautiful about that is that you should know them intimately. You can email them privately, one-on-one. You also want to use your Aweber or MailChimp or whatever you're using, Infusionsoft, whatever it is. But you definitely want to engage with them one-on-one. It's so incredibly critical for you to do that. So that's the first thing. You don't want to just wait until you get your email list to a certain point before you start selling. So Gabrielle, I want to really commend you for asking that right now while your list is still relatively small. Okay. Hey, Melanie. So Melanie, please put your questions in the comments below so we can answer them. Right now we're answering Gabrielle's question about how to turn people from her email list onto into paying clients. And she has a relatively small email list, and here is what it is. So the first thing is you should expect to turn those people from being on your email list to paying clients. You should absolutely expect to do that. You should also know that there's a certain process that you need to go through. How you do this process is totally up to you. You want to really get to know your market very intimately. With a small list, Gabrielle, I would absolutely email each person on your list. And when I say email them, I mean literally click their email and send an email from you directly. And I would say, hey, I would start with this. Hit reply to message me directly. I would love to know more about you and what drove you to my email list and how I can serve you better. So that's step one, right? You want to get into conversation. Why? Nothing sells except through conversation, right? You want to turn these people into clients. You can help them. And so we need to make sure that we're getting into a sales conversation with them. So first things first, quickly today, in less than an hour, go through your entire list. Don't use your autoresponder series, your autoresponder thing. Message them each one by one. It's absolutely critical to do this. Hey, Nika. Nika Stewart is our resident social media guru. My video interview of Nika is going live tomorrow on our blog. And of course, I'll share it here in the member group. But if you have a social media question, like she's your girl and she's here right now. So put it in the comments below. So Gabrielle, I hope that answers your question about the selling to your list. The first step is, in this case for you, is emailing them one by one and getting information from them about how you can best serve them, right? Nothing sells except through conversation. And so for me, with a beautiful small list, hey, Barbara, you want to make sure that you are selling to them early, but you also want to take some time to indoctrinate them, to welcome them to your list, to make sure you know exactly what they're there for, which is why I asked you to email them individually just a minute ago. The other thing too is to make sure that it is something that you know what you're selling, right? It can't just be like private consulting. You want to make sure that maybe you're talking with them about a problem that you solve, or someplace you can take them, so that you can invite people into private conversation with you to discuss the idea of some deeper work, something that is bigger than or deeper than the work, and takes them off the list. So Gabrielle, I hope that helps. Hey, Barbara, good morning from Seattle. So it's yeah, so you're 3 hours behind. So glad to have you guys on the call. And we were just answering a question from Gabrielle, who I don't know where Gabrielle lives. I think she's in, I'm looking it up now. I think she's in New Zealand. She is in Hordaland, Bergen, Hordaland. And I have no idea where that is. Maybe somewhere in Australia. She's from Australia. So anyway, so that was Gabrielle. I hope that helps you. If you guys have any other questions, put them in the comments below. I was saying at the beginning of the video that I have had just a doozy of a week. And I know that's a totally Southern slang, but it has been crazy. Last week was crazy, and this week has already started out crazy. And on top of that, like my middle daughter is getting her license within less than a month, and so we're looking for a car for her. And my oldest daughter is having some challenges with the car that we bought her. And so it's just like we are just kind of having some fun here navigating these things. So it's just been like one thing after the other. Hey, Kim, glad to have you here. Barbara, Nika, Kim, Janine, I think we're calling in from literally all over the globe. And I'd love to know if you have any questions about business. We were just talking about getting someone from our email list into a sales conversation, right? Turning them into private clients. And Kim, can you tell me what business you're in? Because I forget. I'm thinking it's real estate, but I could be wrong. I know you're in Virginia. Nika, I believe, is in New York. Barbara is typing in from Seattle. Janine is in Maryland. Janine is an attorney. Anyway, so wanted to answer any questions that you have. So type those in, and we will definitely definitely get to it. I'm trying to find out. Kim, I'm waiting on you to tell me what you do, if you're still there. Yes, so real estate. Awesome. All right, guys. Well, I just wanted to come in here and just kind of pop in for a little bit of FaceTime with you guys today. We've never done one of these just impromptu live Q&As, and so I do intend to make them a little bit more frequent in the membership. All right, so here's one from Melanie. I'm really trying to figure out the answer to that question 5 from the video a couple days ago. What does my market really need versus what do I think they need? And I need to go into, let's see. I know the training I offer therapists, coaches, and spiritual directors far surpasses what most healing arts practitioners receive. Yeah. So what does your market really need versus what they think they need, right? And so, I've told this story before. It's kind of funny. It's my mom's story to tell. But if you know my mom, and if you're coming to Dallas, you'll meet my mom or see her again. But my mom was in the Outer Banks, which is where she lives, and she was walking into the Belk store. If you're anywhere around, where we're talking about, it's right off of a major highway. And anyway, so she's walking into the Belk store, and this woman walks up to her, and she says, "Oh my God, I saw you from the road, the main road. I saw you from the road, and I have just been led to come and talk with you about something." And so my mom, of course, is thinking, "Oh, well, maybe she has a word for me, or maybe the Lord put me on her heart or something." And my mom's like, "Yeah, absolutely." And so this woman says, "How would you like to lose 20 pounds by drinking coffee?" And my mom was like, "You saw me from the road and I'm so fat? You came in here into Belk to sell me fat melting coffee?" But anyway, so I think of that story whenever I think about the idea of what they really need versus what they think they need. And so, it's if someone doesn't say to you, "I really want some help losing weight," you don't necessarily want to go up to them and offer them what you think they need. But that's kind of a funny analogy, but it works in every one of our businesses. And so I want to give you another example just from my industry in case that it helps, right? I know it is hilarious, Barbara, except it's true, right? And I've had that happen one time at an event in Atlanta. And oh, hey, Barbara or Nika, can you answer the question about Meet Edgar? Any thoughts about it? And when would it be a good time to try to implement this type of app? I've heard amazing things about Meet Edgar. And so if you guys could answer that from the social media perspective while I'm answering Melanie's question, that would be really great. So, anyway, in my industry, what people think that they need maybe are marketing funnels or, SEO or whatever. And I'm not saying, or a new website or new branding. And I'm not saying those things are bad things, but that's what they think they need. But if they put those things on top of a weak mindset or a weak commitment to their business, if they put those on top of a business strategy that doesn't really fully engage the business owner, then they're not really going to get what they want. I'll give you another example. People think they need a lot more clients in order to begin charging what they want to charge, in order to begin designing their business around their preferences. And so that's what they think they need. Get me to this point so I can finally do business the way I want to do business. And I have to take them back and say, no. What you really need is we need to do it this way starting right now. We want to raise our business the way we want to live our business. We don't want to think that we have to do all this stuff we don't want to do. And so one day we get to do the stuff we want to do. And so, Melanie, for you, what they think they need, okay, what they think they need is they need more and more consistent clients, right? These are the things they think they need. They may even think they need to get out of the industry that they're in already because they might be feeling burnt out. They might be feeling like they're not able to help people the way they need to. And so, but what they really need is perhaps a fresh new spiritual technology. right? A fresh new spiritual technology, mental technology that they can use to better help their clients. What they really need is this something that sets them apart, that allows the mental health profession to evolve, like all other professions, and use new technologies. What they really need is this new, fresh technology that will allow them to better help their patients, to better assist them, and also to stand out amongst the noise in that industry as somebody offering something different. And I think that's exactly what you provide them with your training. So I hope that helps. Please let me know in the comments if that helps. Janine, Barbara had just said try the free version for Meet Edgar, but have a strategy so that you can measure it. Absolutely. I also want to encourage you, Janine, to reach out to Ramona. I think Mona uses Meet Edgar, and I have used Hootsuite and something else. I'm not sure what we're using right now, but that's something that you should look into. I have heard from other people, and I have no idea how true this is. Nika or Barbara would be the ones to ask about this, but I have heard that when you use things like Meet Edgar or even Hootsuite, that Facebook punishes you, like if they're kind of pre-scheduled. I have no idea how true that is, but it is something that I've heard. So I've heard amazing things, though. If I were going to use any of them, I think Meet Edgar is a really great one. I'm not sure who started Meet Edgar, but I remember hearing about it, and it's like a person like us, right? It's someone who really wanted a solution and then created it for herself. So if anybody else uses Meet Edgar, definitely put a comment in here for Janine. Janine, are you using Meet Edgar to fill your workshops? Janine, actually, for everybody watching, she's in Maryland, and she represents men in divorce and custody issues. And I was actually just using Janine as an example the other day. I forget when or where, but it's in one of my videos, Janine. And I was talking about how you're doing that. So any other questions? We've talked about taking people off of your email list, making them private clients. We answered Melanie's about what they need versus what they say they need. Barbara, can you give more information about the strategy before you use like a social media app like Meet Edgar? I know it's a huge, huge subject. It's definitely. Barbara is speaking up on that. I want to just give my strategy, which I know is 100% accurate because it's so simple, and I think it can be sort of the biggest part of your social media, and that is making sure that your social media is a conversation, right? Laura Roeder, I remember that name. Yeah. So, but when you're doing social media, and Barbara Pender, Nika Stewart, Ramona, like those people are amazing at social media and knowing all the different parts of that and the moving parts. But for me, it's like the most important thing for your social media approach is that it is a conversation, that you're not just pushing information out there, that you're engaging with people. That's the most important part. And so I've always said that there's no value in pretending to be somewhere. And I say that we're in conversation with our market, that we're actually doing in social media what we would if we were meeting people in real life. Any other questions about that? I love this too, Janine. I really love the live Q&A. I love the engagement. I love introducing people, right, and where they're from. I think it's a great way for us to just get to know each other. And as a matter of fact, I need to do that. We need to do a live stream where we just introduce each other, right? So you show up and we introduce each other. We introduce the people that we've brought into Women Who Wow. We introduce ourselves. When people pop up that I know personally, then I can introduce them and talk about what's so amazing for them or about them. So yeah, we need to do that. I will make a note because that is very fun. Anybody else? Anybody else have a question before we wrap this up? Barbara, I appreciate you coming in and helping out. Melanie, thank you for asking your question. Gabrielle, thank you for asking your question. Janine, thanks for asking your question. And I cannot wait for you to start using everything you have to promote those workshops for men, Janine. It's going to be amazing. And it actually is, I think it's going to totally set your business on a whole different course as you just carve out that niche for yourself. All right, guys. Well, I don't see any other questions coming in, so I appreciate you being with me live, and I will definitely schedule another one of these, not just for Q&A, but also to introduce each other, and I will talk with you soon. Bye.